Welcome back to another week of Cinema Society Saturday. Now, if you don't know what that is, let me tell you more about it. So, this is where a bunch of us who are horror content creators have all decided to come together. We then each week are randomly given a theme. We then partner up, give our partner a movie that fits within the theme, and then we review that film for all of you. So, the theme for this week was Asian horror. So, these are any movies that were either made in or take place in any part of Asia. And for this week, my partner was the wonderful Creepin' Meech, which, if you're not already following her, definitely go and do so. She has some really great content, some wonderful reviews, including a series called Retro Rewind, which is really fun and I definitely recommend checking out. And for this week, my partner gave me the film of Hashtag Alive. That's right, the 2020 film directed and co written by Il Cho. So, this is a really fascinating and entertaining zombie flick that I absolutely recommend checking out. It also is very similar to a film that I reviewed a few weeks ago for Cinema Society Saturday, which I'll go over a little bit more later. So, let me tell you more about the plot for this film to see if maybe this is something you'd like to check out for yourselves. So, first off, we have our main character of Oh Jun Woo, who is this character right here. Now, he just wakes up one day and it's just a regular day. He's gaming with his friends, he's hanging around the house, and the rest of his family has gone out for groceries. Now, completely and without warning, his entire world begins to go into chaos as all of a sudden he begins to hear all of these noises from the hallways of his apartment complex and out into the streets. As he goes out onto his balcony to check it out, he begins to witness people running and fleeing in terror, and other people that are just starting to attack and bite and viciously rip apart everyone else. While he still has access to it, he finds out from the local news that there's an infection that is just spreading throughout the country and causing people to attack one another through bites and scratches. Oh Jun Woo then blockades himself in his apartment, fearing that he'll never see his family again, as he just tries to survive as long as he can. It eventually gets to a point where he fears that he's the only one left alive in this area. So, right as he's about to attempt to take his own life, he then realizes he's not actually alone, as across the street in another apartment complex, he finds another person still alive. And this individual is Kim Joo Bin, who's right here. At first, they try to find ways to just communicate and help each other out. But eventually, they realize that this is getting to such a big boiling point that they have to do something to try to get themselves out of here. So now, once the two of them are able to come together, they have to see if there's a way of getting out of this neighborhood alive. Now, if you've never seen this film, I do recommend checking it out. Also, if you've heard me describe this and you're like, wait, I feel like I've seen this, but maybe not this exact one, that's also because 2 years prior to this film, there was a movie called The Night Eats the World, and also a film that came out the same year as this in America called Alone. Now, while all three of these films are very similar, The Night Eats the World takes place in Paris and is a bit different from Hashtag Live and Alone, which those take place in Korea and America. Since I recently watched The Night Eats the World for another Cinema Society Saturday, and then this one, and I did watch Alone once before as well, it made me think a fun way you could watch these films is kind of like a trilogy, since all three of them take place in different countries, pretending that they're all happening at the same time. So for me on my scale, I'm going to give Hashtag Alive a 4 out of 5. And if you'd like to check it out for yourselves, it's currently streaming for free on Netflix. Now, once more, I am going to mention you should definitely go and follow Creep and Meech. Let's see if we can get her up to 2,000 followers. Also, another great reason to check out her content is so you can see the review for the film that I gave her, which was the 2006 film The Host. I hope you enjoyed this review, and if you'd like to see what everyone else in the group did for their Asian horror reviews, just look up the hashtag Cinema Society Saturday.